You open your eyes for the first time, and congratulations, you're 15. You live in a queen's apartment the size of Tony Stark's closet, and you've been lying to your aunt for months about why your laundry always comes back full of holes. You got bitten by a spider, a radioactive one, because of course you did. Now you can lift a car, stick to walls. Your brain processes danger faster than your body should be able to react. You've been using these gifts to stop bike thieves and help old ladies cross the street. Noble, deeply, tragically noble. Then a man in a billion-dollar suit knocks on your door and calls you Underoos. Tony Stark has a job for you, not a request, a job. You're going to Germany. You're going to fight Captain America, the Captain America, the man who punched Hitler so many times they made it a whole thing. Obviously, you say yes. You're 15 and invincible and completely unprepared. The airport fight lasts maybe 20 minutes. In those 20 minutes, you catch a vibranium shield mid-throw, web up a man who can control ants, and trade punches with a super soldier twice your age and 4 times your experience. Your hands are shaking the entire time. No one notices because you don't stop talking. Jokes, observations, movie references no one in that airfield is old enough to appreciate with you. That's your coping mechanism. File that away. Look around.
To your left, a literal god. To your right, a man in a red and white suit who has been fighting wars since before your parents were born. Across the tarmac, a guy with wings, a guy with a metal arm, and a woman who could dismantle you psychologically before you finished a sentence. You have a curfew. They see a mascot, something small and enthusiastic and temporary, a good trick to show at parties. You feel it in the way they talk around you, not to you. In the way Tony says, stay close, like you're a kid at a museum. You are a kid at a museum. The museum is on fire. The exhibits are trying to kill each other. You're in the room. You cracked jokes and held your own and didn't die, which, honestly, exceeded expectations.
But you're not at the table. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Lucky you.
Tony gives you a suit. Not a suit, the suit. Nanotechnology, an onboard AI, 576 web shooter combinations, and something called instant kill mode that you will absolutely never use and definitely use once on some alien spiders without meaning to. It costs more than your entire zip code. It fits perfectly. You should feel powerful. Instead, you feel like a child wearing his father's jacket. That word, father, sits in your chest like a stone you're not allowed to put down. Tony doesn't say it. You don't say it. You orbit each other in the precise, careful way of two people who need something they're too proud to name. He believes in you. Or maybe he sees a version of himself he can fix this time. You don't know which is heavier. You try to prove you deserve the suit. This is your first mistake.
You find a weapons deal on a ferry. You handle it, mostly. Then the ferry splits clean in half and civilians are sliding into the Atlantic, and you're holding 2,000 tons of metal together with your bare hands and 16 cartridges of web fluid. You hold it until you can't. Tony arrives and saves the day, with the expression of someone deeply, quietly disappointed. He takes the suit. Brilliant strategy, really. What follows is the part they don't show in the highlight reels. You in a homemade onesie, stopping a car with your bare hands, because the costume was never the point. The powers were never the point. The point is that you cannot stop. You have never been able to stop. Something in you is constitutionally incapable of walking past a problem.
Great power, great responsibility. But nobody warns you that responsibility doesn't come with a manual, a mentor who stays, or any guarantee that trying your hardest won't still end in someone getting hurt. Tony gives you the suit back eventually, because you earned it, because you're Spider-Man with or without it, because he knows, even if he won't say it, that this gift is also a sentence. You put it on. It fits perfectly. It always will.
Congratulations.
You are on Titan, an alien planet, fighting a god with a bedazzled glove, alongside a wizard, a raccoon with a gun, and a man made of muscle and ego who calls himself Star-Lord. This is your life now. You stopped questioning it somewhere over the Atlantic. You hold your own. Of course you do. You web Thanos to a platform. You pull at the gauntlet with everything you have. You almost make it matter. Then Star-Lord asks a question he shouldn't, and the universe answers in the worst possible way. Apart. The way plans always fall apart, completely and all at once. Then you feel it. Not pain, something quieter.
A tingling that has nothing to do with danger and everything to do with ending. Your arms, the edges of you, dissolving like paper left in rain. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. You don't want to die. You're 16 and you haven't finished your homework, and Aunt May is going to be so worried, and you don't want to die. You don't want to go. You're not ready. You're not ready. Tony catches you. You apologize. Because of course you apologize. You were raised right, and dying is no excuse for bad manners. Then, nothing. 5 years pass in the time it takes to blink. You come back swinging into a battlefield that makes Germany look like a misunderstanding. Tony is there. Older. Heavier in the eyes.
He has a daughter now. A whole daughter. 3 years old. Named after his dead best friend. You have been gone for 5 years and missed none of it, and all of it simultaneously. There's no time to process. There's never time to process. You fight. You win. The kind of winning that costs everything. Tony picks up the stones. You know what it means. Everyone knows what it means. He does it anyway, because that's what Tony Stark does. He finds the one move that saves everyone else and destroys him, and he makes it look easy. You hold him while he goes, the way he held you on Titan. You're 16. You have now died once and watched your father die once, and the word father still sits in your chest like a stone. Heavier now. So much heavier. Tony Stark is dead, and someone hands you his glasses. Not metaphorically, literally. A holographic message, a pair of AR sunglasses, and an implicit request that you become the next Iron Man. You're 17. You haven't slept properly since Titan. Your best friend still thinks the blip was, quote, insane, but also we missed a lot of school, so you just want one school trip. One normal, unremarkable European vacation where nothing tries to kill you. Nick Fury has other plans. Nick Fury always has other plans. He finds you in Venice, because of course he does. Grief is not an excuse for a sabbatical when you're an Avenger, and Nick Fury treats no the way water treats stone, patiently and with complete indifference. You say no.
You mean it. You hand Tony's glasses to the most convincing person you've ever met and feel like you've made a smart decision. You have not made a smart decision. Mysterio is not a hero. Mysterio is a bitter, brilliant man in a fishbowl helmet who weaponizes your grief like a scalpel. Precise, personal, devastating. You hand him the most dangerous surveillance system on the planet because he looked you in the eyes and said he understood loss. Turns out, understanding loss and being trustworthy are completely unrelated qualities. You get hit by a train. Twice, spiritually. Once, literally. You fight back. You win. The way you always win. Not with the best weapons or the most experience, but with the specific, stubborn refusal to stay down that has defined every single chapter of your life. Then, Mysterio, even in defeat, pulls one last trick. Your face, your name, every screen on Times Square. Spider-Man is Peter Parker, delivered to 8 billion people with the confidence of someone who has nothing left to lose and wants company in the rubble. Overnight, you go from beloved neighborhood hero to global controversy. Wanted, debated, dissected. The same world that called you amazing now calls you a menace, a murderer, a publicity stunt. You're 17.
You should be stressed about the SATs. Instead, you're a fugitive. Instead, you're a headline. Instead, you're learning the hard way that the world doesn't actually want a hero. It wants someone to blame. Just a quiet conversation with a man in a cape, a specific request, and the understanding that some problems can only be solved by removing yourself from the equation entirely. The multiverse is collapsing. Your existence, your name, your face, the simple fact that people know who you are is the infection. Strange looks at you the way doctors look at patients before delivering news that will change everything. You tell him to do it. You say goodbye to MJ. She doesn't know it's goodbye. That's the point. That's the mercy. That's the knife. You say goodbye to Ned, to Happy. You stand in front of Aunt May's grave and say goodbye to the woman who raised you and died because the world found out your name. Then the spell lands, and everyone you love looks through you like glass.
MJ doesn't know you. Ned doesn't know you. The Avengers, the ones still alive, still around, have no memory of the kid from Queens who bled alongside them, who held Tony as he died, who came back from 5 years of nothing and kept fighting anyway. You're alone in a small apartment, smaller than the one in Queens. You're sewing your own suit because there's no Stark technology anymore, no AI, no 576 combinations, just needle, thread, and the particular determination of someone who has lost everything before and knows, grimly, how to begin again. This is the part no monument covers. The Avengers got memorials, statues, a bridge named after Tony Stark. Sam Wilson gets a shield and a title, and the full weight of a legacy handed to him in front of cameras. Natasha gets remembered. Clint gets to go home. You get a studio apartment and a secret.
You saved the universe. Twice, technically, if you're keeping score. And you are, because no one else is. You held the line on Titan. You caught the gauntlet. You let the world forget you existed so that the people you love could live safely inside that forgetting. Great power, great responsibility, and not a single person alive who remembers you carried both. You pull on the mask. You swing out into the city. Somewhere below, MJ laughs at something and doesn't know why she glances up. You do. You always will.